Welcome, everybody, to All Stars and Stripes Heroes Connection. This is a networking group, just a group of a bunch of friends and entrepreneurs. We have a focus on military veterans, first responders, their families, or anybody who wants to support or do business to business networking with us. And we also have some advocates here as well. So for the next 55 minutes or so, we start each meeting with a moment of silence and then the Pledge of Allegiance, national anthem. I have a special one for us today. And then I'll talk a little bit about what the scuttlebutt.club is and how to use it to invite people. And then we have our business briefs, and everybody can put their information in the chat. You'll get 60 seconds to tell us about yourself. And then we'll have our hero highlight and spotlight speaker today, and end with the inspirational thought and announcements and reminders. So let's start with the moment of silence. Now for the Pledge of Allegiance, if you're able to stand, this is a good time to do that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now I'm going to have to, let me see if I can do this. For some reason, it would not let me play this for you all on the Canva slide. So I've got it. Can y'all see the screen? You see the hockey players? Everybody see the hockey players? Okay, good. Oops.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly hailed, and the twilight's last gleam, whose bright heart through the perilous fight, o'er the ramp won, were so gallantly streamed, and the its red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land.
My son called me last night and he was like, "Mom, guess who
You can
won?"
get so hyper fixated on
guess who won what? I knew nothing about it, but he was hyped up about it. So I got hyped up about it and I thought, you know what? Maybe they have a national anthem. So
Amazing.
Good choice.
yeah. Let me get back to my present slide. Here we go. Yeah, and it was funny because the one kid with a bunch of teeth missing, when they were interviewing him, I was looking, I'm like, oh my goodness, he's lost a bunch of teeth, and the next thing he says, like, just as I'm thinking this, he's like, yeah, we've got the best dentists in the USA. Okay, so the scuttlebutt.club, if you go to that website, it looks like what you see here on the computer screen, has our meeting agenda, has the Zoom registration link, which please, if you invite people, make sure that they know to use the email that they have their Zoom set up with, not their alignable, unless it's one and the same. But that's where most people have a struggle getting registered for the Zoom. And then also there is a spotlight speaker form that they can fill out there. And there is a place to set up a meeting with me as well. And there is also a link to our Facebook group and our YouTube channel and our alignable. Now I'm going to stop sharing. Ruben, would you like to be our co-host for today? Okay. I'm going to turn this part of the meeting over to Ruben so you all can give your 60-second business briefs and tell us about yourself.
Absolutely. We'll start out with Natalie.
All right already. Hope all is well. Sorry, Mike, but if I am enthusiastic about what I do, I figure it's the right thing. Because if I'm not thinking what I'm doing is the right thing, then I ought to be doing something else. So there. So I am a Shackley ambassador, like it or not, and I've been working with these products for 45 years. They do me well. They keep me moving, and I'm not on any medication. And let's see, 3 or 4 months, I'll be 89. So, but you know, the company, once in a while, they bring out something that nobody else ever had or ever will, and that was one of those is called Vivix. But sometimes they bring out something because it's, you know, other companies have it, but they wait until it's better and different than anybody else has. So one of those recently was called creatine and creatine power blend. It has also polyphenols and magnesium, but if you want more information, you'll have to ask me because my time's up.
Okay. Okay. Good job, Natalie. Okay. Let's see who's in the room here. Oh, Mary.
Hi, everyone. Greetings from Michigan. Little fun fact, 5 of the U.S. hockey team players are from Michigan. Anyway, I'm looking for parents of high school seniors. Graduation is going to be here before you know it. You got to make sure all the final paperwork is set in with the high school, make sure all their graduation requirements are met. There's the final countdown for confirming what college you want to go to, FAFSA, if they're going to be going off campus, the housing, and then you got to plan a grad party. So I can help with the grad party invites, gifts for to have on display that the student can take when they go away to college, grandparent gifts. So I'm here to take the stress away for the high school seniors. Mary Gant, offering photo solutions because your memories need to be preserved.
And she does a beautiful job. If you can see it, guys, I have my artwork here, but it's in the form of a puzzle. So it'd be a good closing gift for realtors when they sell a home to give it to the family that they sold the home to their kids.
Thank you, Ruben.
Okay. Melissa, you're next.
You're muted.
Sorry, on Zoom for a whole week. Melissa, and can help everybody from 15 days all the way up to about 7 days. And I see myself as a specialist and financial educator. We're serving in what we're doing individuals and businesses by eliminating market risk and fees and where they and save their money. So we're helping families even in military space at the front and to make sure that they can go to school free. And that's what I do. And I'm for serving that have served on or to serving and helping more.
Okay, Melissa, you're breaking up a little bit. I don't know whether it's a bandwidth or the connection you have with your speaker.
A little bit of both. I
Okay.
just came back to Cali, and my computer's still probably lost in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Hey, Santa, you're up.
Well, I am unmuted. There we go. Except I'm moving my mouse around. All right, I'll even start the timer for myself. Hey guys, how we doing? I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Santa Papa John, the storyteller. Yes, what do I do after Christmas? I tell stories, and I want to tell stories to your family, your friends, and your seniors in nursing homes, autistic group homes. New lips, just trying them out. Yeah. If you know activity directors for nursing homes, senior care centers, I'd love an introduction. But what else does Santa do? He loves to support our veterans. Thank you all for that have served. Appreciate that very much because it allows me and allows everybody in here the ability to do what we love to do. I have created a whole new website, the Warriors Beacon of Hope, where I'm compiling a nationwide list of services, meetings, and scholarships so that our veterans can find the services and the resources that they need when they need them. So I'm Santa Papa John. Thanks.
Thank you, Santa. Rick Cram.
Hi, everybody. It's been about a year since I've been with you all. For those of you who I've see there's some familiar faces, hello. If I'm new to you, hello. It's good to connect with you. I'm Rick Cram, a resilience coach and strategic communications advisor. And since we were last together, I finally pushed over the finish line, actually just about a week and a half ago, the first of 3 books, Plan to Be Your Best as You Navigate Pain. If you know pain, then you know that it has a unique way of hijacking your focus, sapping your energy, and frustrating your hope. The resilience program and Plan to Be Your Best is all about strengthening your own unique resilience in a perpetual way to be on a path of not just a journey of pain, but a journey of growing your resilience and finding ways to win back the focus that pain takes away, to win back and spark new positive energy that pain also hijacks. So if you know of anyone who's in pain, I'm here to help.
Great to have you, Rick. Okay, Greg.
All right. Everybody hear me? All right. Greg Boone here. I provide a portfolio of services centered around savings and well-being. This ranges from helping realtors diversify their income with essential services like mobile and internet, to assisting budget-conscious families with modern health sharing alternatives. And I also provide specialized cellular health for your pets, focusing on longevity and vitality through mitochondrial support. Thank you.
Very good. Jay, you're up.
Okay, the Jay Pullen, wellness practitioner. And for the last 12 years, I focused on hypnotherapy, specifically medical support hypnosis, helping people take themselves out of that stress, fight or flight mode into the rest and restore, because that's where healing really happens. I made a pivot in the last of the year, this past December, because I came across a product that essentially does the same thing. It does not require me to be in an office, so I let my office go, and that's what I'm doing now is I'm marketing this product that does very much the same thing I was doing before, but in just a different way. It's an extract from the hops plant, and it has helped people heal a variety of things in the chronic condition realm. Heart problems, digestive, liver, all of that. Thank you.
Well, thank you, my friend. Okay, let's see here. 1 second. Let me get organized here. What do we have? Okay, how about Barry Street?
Good afternoon, folks. Good to meet you. My name is Barry Street. I'm from Palm Beach, Florida. Been in the business world most of my career. Now I'm on a mission to help people get well and stay well. So, quick story about me is 5 years ago, I had a fatal level stroke. Doctors said I should have died in my sleep, but I didn't. Obviously, I'm still here. And I attribute it to some technology I came into regarding water. You know, water is the essence of life. And when we go look at outer space and look at other planets, the first thing they look for is what? Water. Because if there's no water, there's no life. And same with our bodies. If there's no water, there's no life. Yet most of us spend hundreds of dollars on supplements and organic foods and protein drinks. But how many of us really stop to think about the water we're drinking and put into our bodies? So that's what I do. I help people get well and stay well with water that will change your life. Thanks to be here.
Nice to be here, Barry. Nice to, and let's see here. We have Mike.
All right, you got it. Well, just in case Natalie's still poking around, I'm a regular user of Shackley products. I love the laundry detergent, the wipes, electrolyte drink, protein drink, not so much, but I'm not a fan of protein drinks. That being said, you totally provoked me. As long as you don't hard pitch me in a 7-minute call, we're good. But what I do is that. I don't know if you can read it. It says certified world-class speaking coach. The reason I'm here is in the Marines, I was public affairs. And even as a 20-year-old Lance Corporal, I got tabbed with reading the promotion warrants on the first of the month. To all who shall see this presence greeting. Know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the fidelity and abilities of Ruben Carrillo. Well, you know the rest of it. I'd love to hard sell you my high-end coaching package right now. Instead, I'm going to invite you to my next workshop, Storytelling for Solopreneurs, which takes place tomorrow on Zoom at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, with a repeat Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to put the registration link in the chat so you can register now, and I'll see you later.
Perfect, Mike. Perfect. Jim.
Hello, everybody. Jim Paconin, your life architect. I have been coaching for more than 20 years. At the core of what I do is I process trauma to the point that people heal and they create amazing lives. Last Friday, got a new website up called everyguysstory.com. And I'm going to be starting an online men's group for men called the Forge Movement. It is authentic listening and authentic healing. And I assist people to get past the blocks that stop their life. And in doing so, they create an amazing life. I'm Jim Paconin, Amazing Life Design. I'm going to actually get done a little early today, so it's more time for our speaker.
Okay, that's a good point, though, Jim. Put your links that you have for your programs coming up in the chat, and then, guys, let's try to get together with maybe a calendar or two so we can do one-to-ones with each other and get a little bit more involved. Okay, Anthony.
Hi there, everyone. Anthony Pinto. I'm going to be your speaker for today, so I'll kind of make this a little bit shorter. Former submarine officer for about 9 years, currently a military spouse, moving all over the place. And what I do is I work with my company is Veteran Vectors, and I essentially am an AI automation agency. So I help small, medium-sized business owners, really between 10 and 200 employees, automate a lot of their manual processes. The big three I tend to see are lead generation solutions. So LinkedIn outreach, follow-up, content creation, Instagram, depends on what the company's need is. A lot of onboarding solutions. So taking your existing 10 different, databases that you have to connect to and link them all up together. And then the last one I call is a second brain. So essentially the same concept. You have a calendar, you have an email, you have your CRM, them talk with each other. So the second brain essentially get on a call and all the information is kind of real-time synced for you within the CRM. So that's all I have. I can get more into it in my call. Thanks.
Great. Looking forward to that presentation, Anthony. Tom, you're up.
Well, thank you, everyone, for your service and those that are family of service. My name's Tom Baker, Simplistic Capital from Canton, Ohio, right down the street from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. My business provides capital to move your business forward in really several different main areas. One is invoice factoring, one is 0% financing, equipment financing, as well as credit card processing. I was able to save a company $30,000 in credit card processing over the course of a year. So if you're looking for any type of capital to move your company forward, let's connect. I just put my information in the chat.
Well, thank you, Tom. Thank you. Welcome. Okay, let's see. We have Chad.
Hi, everybody. Probably a lot of you already know who I am, but for the new ones, I am Chad Stambaugh, owner of CS Designs Marketing. I am a retired Marine, and I'm pretty much a full-blown SaaS agency. We do website development design, SEO, chat bots. We also do business loans, and we do workers, safety and training videos. So if you need any of those types of services, let me know.
Okay, thanks a lot, Chad. Okay, so now you're up.
Hello, good afternoon. Good evening actually. It's 4:27. So this is Sonal and I'm the founder of Spark R2 Digital and AI Studio. We help the small businesses and the healthcare building their digital presence online. To give you a little bit background about myself, is my husband and I both are in this together, and we both have been working in IT industry 20 plus years. And this was our dream uh, that we have been seeing from last 20 plus years. But being a first immigrant generation, sustainability comes first, and having the kids, a heavily involved mom in my kids' life, didn't never found the time to bring my dream come to the reality. And so now my daughter is heading out to the college. Now this is a high time for me to accomplish my dream. And that's where we founded the Spark R2. And what we do is basically help small businesses and the healthcare, um, uh, help them during the marketing and using the AI powered technology. We help them like in the services we provide is like website design and development, search engine optimization, social media marketing and management, media campaigns, graphic designing, and also we help them automating their workflow, the daily mundane task using the AI tools. So basically, email marketing or SMS marketing, or you say integrating the CRM tools, chatbots, all using the AI tools.
Very good. And thank you so much for joining us. Okay,
Thank you.
Angela, I think we covered everybody. I'll go ahead next, okay? Okay, gentlemen, break out your cameras your camera, your phones if you can. Cameras of the past, okay? Because I'm a retired veteran. I paint with veterans. They paint to heal. I paint to market. So I try to show them how to promote their artwork on Instagram. I put the link in the main chat. You'll see it. But this is another communication device that I use. So if you could see this, if you can focus in your phone on there and see if that'll come up. If it isn't, it'll be on the chat that you can on the link that you have in the chat box. Okay. Now the other thing is that my mother-in-law just reached 103 years old in the nursing home. We went to celebrate that, made a big cake and everything. And then the lady that runs the nursing home came up to me and said, "Hey, your wife told me that you used to have a band in high school." And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Would you like to sing for us?" And all of a sudden, guys, he hands me a mic and I'm doing karaoke for the ladies. Okay. And so all of a sudden, they asked me now to do it on a regular basis. So I went to Gemini and I asked for a poster on what I want to do. And here it is right here. I don't know whether you can see it or not. Maybe you can.
Nope.
Okay. But the poster says Ruben Carrillo, the karaoke king. Every Tuesday and Thursday. So I'm going to be doing karaoke. And last but not least, guys, I'm so inspired on the Winter Olympics in Milan that last night I painted this. This basically I titled her Olympic dancer. So she is also, when you open up Instagram, you'll see she'll be the first painting that pops up. Thank you. Angela, it's up to you.
Righty. Thank you so much, Ruben. And I'm actually going to take my 60 seconds to tell you what I do. I'm a mother of 7 kids, and they are my life. And so I'm going to take my time to talk a little bit about that. My oldest son, who you see right here, Sean Ray Stone, he passed away in 2012. He was a disabled Iraq war veteran, and I am super proud of him. One that I absolutely loved about the interviewing last night that I saw from our hockey team, the USA hockey team, was them giving a shout out to the military and to our first responders and all of that. Also, my second to the youngest son here is serving in the Marine Corps right now. He's an active duty Marine, and this is my youngest, Ben. He is he's out of the Marines, but he'll, once a Marine, always a Marine, I guess. And then I have grandkids and lots of kids. So I would love to have one-to-one with each and every one of you. So I have my calendar in the chat. Let's connect. And I want to learn more about you, and I love to connect people. So let's.
We have one more just came in. Kurt, go ahead.
Kurt.
All right. Hello, everybody. Good to see everybody on the screen. Thanks for being here. I'm Kurt Roskoff, aka Special K, here to brighten up your days. So let's get underway. I'm a podcaster, and so I work hard for you to have this big platform ready and waiting, free, complimentary. It's there for you to come on, share who you are, what you do, your products, services, business journey, anything personally you'd like to share. We like to have fun, so you can even bring skeletons in your closet. So there we go. We're going to have fun. There's no business like show business, like any business I know. So let's get show business working for you, because it's an exercise where you can make sure that everybody that I know knows you. Yahoo! That's how we do. Thank you. Back to you.
That's
All
great.
right. Let's
Okay,
have fun.
I think we have Adam coming in, Angela.
Okay, let me stop sharing here. There we go. Hey, Adam, I know you're late to the game, but do you want to
I'm sorry.
minute and tell everybody about who you are? We're at the end of
I
our
am
business.
so sorry. I just got out of a meeting, and thank you, Angela, for allowing me to introduce myself right away.
Santa's got you on a timer, so.
Oh, okay. I am Adam. I'm from Prime Span. We are a health and wellness platform. We focus our work and programs to help the 55 plus communities. And we primarily focus in extending your health span. Our primary goal is for you to keep your independence and also increase your health. We have a specialty in improving cognitive health, and also our main piece is reducing your anxiety as you age. So that's really what we're trying to accomplish with our work. So thank you for allowing me to introduce myself and for this timing. That's it.
Thank you, Adam. Okay, and I just want to ask y'all a quick favor. If everybody could give a big smile and a big wave, so I can get a picture later. All right. I'll get one in there somewhere. All right, let me share my screen with you. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I did change up the slides a little bit, try to make it a little darker. The real bright kind of bothers my eyes sometimes. So today our hero highlight is going to be by Anthony, who is our spotlight speaker, but it's part of his presentation. So we'll just jump right into introducing Anthony. What I'd like to say about Anthony is that he helped me with something that I didn't know that I needed so much help with. And I had tried to be a DIY website person and create my own website. And I worked with Anthony and he put together something that was just unbelievable. You can check out my website. I think he did a fantastic job and I really recommend him. He was very quick and efficient and pretty much did everything that not just pretty much, he did everything that and more of what I would have expected. So he's going to be talking to us today about workflow automations for small businesses. So this is going to be a real treat. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to ask Santa Papa John. Oh, Anthony, you need to share your screen.
Yes, please.
Okay, let me make you a co-host. And Santa Papa John, can you put him like 18 minutes on? You can take all of that or as little of that as you need. So make you a co-host. Okay, you should be able to share your screen at any time, Anthony.
Second. Okay, can everyone see my screen now?
It's popping up. Just give it 1 second. There we go. Yes, but we don't see the presentation. We just see all the slides.
Okay, 1 second. Let me pop it back up here.
Okay. Yeah, even if you pull that up and hit, yeah.
Okay. Okay, better now?
Yes. Take it away.
Perfect. Okay, I appreciate you guys having me on here today. I just dropped in all my contact information, so if you guys want to connect with me offline here, happy to do that. But so I kind of gave a quick intro earlier, but my name's Anthony Pinto. I am well, actually, I'll just get into my background here in a second. But my company is Veteran Vectors, and essentially we automate a lot of the manual processes for small business owners. Right. A lot of that has been still entrepreneurs like Angela, working with Angela on our website. But it has also been all the way up to 8-figure, lab equipment supply companies. So it's kind of everything in between and industry agnostic, I would say. And then there we go. So a little bit about my background, kind of broke it up here into like education, my military service and my actual personal life. So I was originally Naval Academy class of 14. And then when I got out, I was a submarine officer for about 9 years. I was stationed in Norfolk. I did, the whole submarine pipeline in Connecticut and South Carolina and in upstate New York. And then after a couple tours in Norfolk, we went to Japan right about the time that COVID hit, like literally like 2 months after COVID hit. So we were pretty much in lockdown our whole time in Japan, which was not super fun. But Japan was my last duty station. I was stationed at Group 7 there for about 3.5 years. And then we came back to DC and got out in 2023. This is where my wife, who's still active duty, started a doctorate in nurse practitioner program. And she's actually finishing that up in May. She'll be graduating. And so we're still moving around. I was in for 9 years, but being a military spouse, it's like I never got out because we're still PCSing everywhere. And so that's been a lot of fun. We were in DC for about 2 years for her, in class schooling, if you will. We're in Seattle now for about a year, and then we moved to Chicago when she graduates in July. So she took three PCSs in about 2 years, which is super exciting. And then I'm also father to 2 little girls. You can see here I got almost a 4-year-old, and then that's actually not accurate anymore. She's about 8 months old now. So Mary and Charlotte are my two little girls there. And then outside of trying to keep my daughters from killing themselves, I like to do woodworking and then hiking and then reading and really just adventuring with the family. This past weekend I actually did was solo parenting. And so we just did a bunch of walking around outside to wear my 4-year-old out, which was definitely good because she needed it running around the house all day. And then really the biggest thing for me for starting this business was I currently work as a defense contractor, but when we moved from DC, that was near impossible to have upward mobility in that. So I needed to have a business that was my own, that was fully remote, that I could work my own hours no matter where we were stationed. Because I would say there's a pretty good chance that we're going to be stationed overseas again after Chicago. So that pretty much throws out my defense contracting gig. So that's kind of my quick background there. Outside of that, I've had kind of a long history of entrepreneurship. I would call myself a serial entrepreneur, if you want to call that. But I really started with real estate investing when I was still active duty back in 2019, when I was on my first boat. And I really wanted to look into something that I could actually develop like side passive income while still active duty and still kind of had that stability there. And so I started investing in small multifamily, small single family homes, and that eventually grew into large multifamily by 2020 or so. And at the height of that, we had about 700 plus units in 2022 before we disposed of a whole bunch of them. And since then, that's just largely been our own personal portfolio that we manage. And during that time, I also kind of realized that I had I guess a passion for connecting startups with capital. And so that's a side gig, I guess you want to call it that I do as well, is both like connecting and doing business development for small, medium-sized businesses, mainly in defense, with capital and other needs, but also doing my own angel investing from there as well. And then lastly, kind of those both all tied up into one in the defense contracting gig, I realized that there's a lot of holes in the normal small, medium-sized business, I would say operating processes and how they compare themselves against like an enterprise level company. So think of like in the defense contracting space, think of, a 10-person company trying to compete against a Lockheed. There's a lot of efficiencies and a lot of proprietary information, I would say, and accesses that Lockheed has that most small, medium-sized businesses don't. Whether that's for, time efficiencies, whether that's for automation purposes, whether they just don't have the time to look at anything else. And so my goal with that is, in the mission really was to help small, medium-sized businesses be able to compete at the same level as an enterprise company and whatever their industry is, right? And so what do I actually do? So I like to explain this kind of at 3 different levels. The first one is this 30,000-foot view, which is here. I help small business owners cut out a lot of their time-consuming processes through AI workflow automation. And so what I really get down to is I tend to build very specialized solutions for very general, small, medium-sized business problems that I tend to see. A lot of lead generation, marketing, sales, operations, back-end admin, the things that like aren't actually revenue generating, but you have to do because you just have to do them as a small business owner. Those are the kind of things that I solve for. So that's kind of a 30,000-foot view. And so what do I mean by AI workflow automation? Well, it's essentially imagining a robot that is able to do the boring, repetitive work for you automatically 24/7 and on demand for you. So that could be taking you out of the loop for onboarding, so you're no longer the bottleneck there. That could be doing a website design for you and posting SEO or GEO optimized blog posts on an automatic basis. I do that for myself. It really kind of depends on what the need is for you and what that looks like for that particular business. And so that's kind of a quick synopsis of what the AI workflow automations actually are. And so the 20,000-foot or the 10,000-foot view of what I actually do is we work hand in hand with the companies to audit their processes. Like I said, it's lead generation, marketing, sales, engineering, ops, back-end admin, onboarding, really depends on the company. We actually see if automation actually plays a role, because not every company needs automation and doesn't make sense for every single process, right? For example, if you're spending 5 minutes a year doing something, probably doesn't make sense to automate it. But if you're spending 5 hours a week doing it and it's a repetitive, data entry sort of thing, probably is worth automating, especially if it's you as a founder doing it and your time is, more valuable doing something else. And then the last step there is to actually build an automated tool that helps either save time or increase revenue. And so that is the 30,000 and 10,000 foot view are kind of hard to wrap your head around what that actually looks like. So I'll kind of give you some actual case studies of people I've worked with. So I started a defense tech company or on the defense contracting place. And so a lot of the clients I started with are defense tech sort of companies. And so this particular business had 5 different pieces of software, HR software that they were using that didn't communicate with each other. And so they had one employee that would essentially aggregate all this information, hand jam it into an Excel, and then every 2 weeks spit out payroll. And that's like their full-time job to do that. And so I essentially just built them an integrated solution that ties all those HR systems together, gives them into an automated workflow, prepares the payroll automatically for them, and then it just takes that same person to do, you know, a 1 or 2 hour check at the very end before payroll goes out, right? Saving like 90% of the time just through the automation of condensing all that information and all the softwares into one aspect, right? So you can see what the statistics of that look like, but that's not only just hours saved, but it's now hours that that person can spend on other aspects, right? More time consuming or more revenue generating activities or tasks. As I mentioned, I work with a bookkeeping solo entrepreneur, and his onboarding process was, I would say, pretty time consuming. So he would get off a call with someone, and then he would have to manually get their template or their contract together and their invoicing together and all their accesses and all their folders and all this stuff. And by the time he got around to finishing that up, it would take him about 30 minutes to an hour per client to get all that set up. And so when he started having more and more clients, 5, 10 clients coming in a week, like he just couldn't keep up with that. And it was causing more times doing admin than actually spending time with the clients and doing the valuable work for them. And so I essentially built him out an automation that takes the same client information every single time and pushes it out to a templated contract, templated invoice, you know, makes a Google Drive folder for them and collects all the information that he needs, all with about 30 seconds of actual work on his part. And all the rest of it is automated out, including a welcome email at the end. So he saved, you know, over 90% of his time on this onboarding process alone. And that's now time he can spend on revenue generating at work again, which amounted to over 16K for him in this case, which is a lot when you're a solo entrepreneur. And then the last case I'll talk about here, this is a larger company. This company is about 2,000 people. But this was a Naval Academy grad I worked with, and he had a very specific lead generation issue. He essentially had a workman's comp report that would come in. He'd have to break that out and figure out like employee count, revenue, who the point of contacts were, like the actual decision makers, like the CEO, things like that. And then manually compile it all into a lead list that generated address labels for them at the end. And so this was taking him about 4 to 5 hours every weekend because the report will come out on a Friday. And mostly it was just him trying to move data around and try to find all these individual pieces, right? And actually qualify the leads. And so now he's able to upload about 2,000 leads every single time and get out the, 20 actual companies that he wants to contact based off of his metrics. And it's cut, like I said, more than 90% of his time again to actually spend on personally contacting those individual decision makers, right? Whether they have a veteran connection, whether they have a Naval Academy connection, they live in California, so whether there's that connection, right? And so it all cuts it down to about 20 minutes per run that he does every single time. So it's an amazing savings for him there. And now he gets to go and do the actual things that matter to him. And so we're actually taking this across the country, across the company now for the insurance company. Because it was such a huge, I would say, huge time savings and a huge success for him, this custom solution. So, like I said, I build very specialized solutions for very common small and medium-sized business problems I tend to see. The 3 biggest things that I see, again, are lead generation, a very specialized lead generation solution for that particular company. So for, in the instance of the insurance company, you saw they had a very specialized reporting system that they had. I've worked with companies to do, lead generate or LinkedIn outreach and really follow up has been the big thing. Content creation is another big one as well. The onboarding has been a big one. I've seen, something as simple as the bookkeeper automation where it's, 2 or 3 tools that he's using, all the way up to an aviation maintenance company that I work with, who's another vet, who he has very specialized software that he has to input data into. And that's kind of the biggest ticket for him because that's all manual right now, right? It's like literally 12 hours of his time to manually upload all this information because it is such a antiquated system, I would say. So we're working that down and working to get it down to like 30 minutes total for its onboarding. So all that to say, I've worked with over a dozen different military vet companies and service academy grads in general. They've all faced very similar problems across their businesses. And we typically see about a 10 to 20x return on investment for either time savings or actual revenue gain for a lot of these things. And so I like to say that there's not a one size fits all for these search solutions. What you need as a artist, Rudin, is probably very different than what Angela needs for her, her search solutions, right? So that's kind of where we get very niche down on working together individually with everybody and auditing what their individual need basis is. So we can build the best sort of solution that's customized to your particular need and your pain point, if you will. And so lastly, all I say is I'm happy to do a free discovery call with anyone here who wants to. I put my information there. And during that call, we just basically go over what the business looks like, what your interest is in automation, and kind of what I can do for you. Because sometimes it doesn't work out, and sometimes it doesn't make sense to work together. But at least we do that free discovery call to kind of figure it out. You can see my website there, my LinkedIn, if you want to see more about that. I have bunch of testimonials, including one from Angela on my LinkedIn and on my website as well. So that's pretty much all I have. Open to questions or anything else, Angela.
Great. So I have a question for you. What would be your ideal referral?
Yeah, so I would say that the reason I'm with 10, I do the 10 to 200 employee count and really industry agnostic is because I found that a lot of solo entrepreneurs, I hate to say it like this, can't necessarily afford my services, or they don't have the processes in place that it makes sense for them to actually automate a lot of that, right? Once you get into the 10 to 200 employee range, now you're talking about manual processes, I would say inhibiting your growth at that smaller scale, all the way up to 200 employees where they're starting to bring in a lot of people to just do these manual tasks purely themselves, right? But enterprise level solutions that can do a lot of this are kind of still outside of their price range or cost effectiveness. Mm-hmm. So in terms of who my ideal client is, again, it's very industry agnostic. It's across the board for the type of people I work with and it's company size, but really the only, I would say, defining attribute is I've worked with veterans. Like 90% of the people I work with are veterans. And that's just kind of a consequence of the people within my network and who I tend to talk with more and more. So I don't know if that answers your question, yes. Angela.
Yes,
I have a question for you, Anthony. Anthony, when I started this promotion with the vets to paint, they're at home. They have issues or whatever. They can't get out in galleries and do shows like I do. But I noticed that Instagram had interesting technology that I utilized. I started out with 200 followers. This was months ago. I have over 1,000 followers now. And basically, it's posting, not using reels. I haven't got into reels too much, but posting the artwork and pairing it with music. And it seems to really resonate with people. The only issue the veterans are asking me is how we're going to monetize this. And what I did, I chose to go to a print by demand company in my link. They take the artwork and they make coffee cups, yoga mats, wall art, things that I feel that people could afford and would be interested in. But it's the conversion of those 1,000 people to get to go to that step. That's my issue right now.
Yeah, you're not alone in that. And I think that the big reason why lead generation is such a big, I would say moneymaker is it's so popular for people is because I think a lot of people are throwing, spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks a lot of the time. And for a small business owner, you don't have the luxury of spending a lot of time trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work, right? And so I've actually worked with another she's a brain health coach on this exact same issue. How do you monetize what your brand is? How do you build out your products? How do you take that and put it into social media and actually convert all those people? So one of the big things that I do is, and not to get into a long-winded story, but I have about 10 touch points for people on LinkedIn, and only one of those is actually manual. And I send a personalized Loom video to people. So I just would go to their LinkedIn and I would talk about, hey, this is what our connection is. And this is how I can help you. And it's about, a minute and 30 seconds. But outside of that, the rest of the 9 of them are all automated. So I think that's the big thing for me is how do you cut out a lot of the time consuming processes for you? Because that lead generation for me used to take about 3 to 4 hours a day. Now it takes about 30 minutes of me just making the videos, right? Everything else about finding the LinkedIn connections, specifically my ICP, and then more importantly is doing all the follow-up. Because I think a lot of people will send messages once and then never hear from them again. And then people get busy. They don't check their messages again. They don't check their emails. And so I've ended up getting about 60 to 70% response rates with just follow-ups alone out of the people I've sent contacts to. So happy to chat about that with you, Ruben.
Okay, yeah, very good. Thank you.
I encourage I think several people here would be great connections for you. I know like Rick does, goes into companies and does like speaking to large groups. So he's in companies. I'm sure there's others here that do as well. So keep Anthony in mind for a referral for those companies. And I also, with Legal Shield, do have gotten my certification to do employee benefits packages. So I'm going to be moving into the small business, dealing with small businesses, and so you will be at the top of my at the top of my mind. So, but thank you so much, and Rick. You are off camera, but I am assuming you heard what I was saying. So, but I encourage everybody here to have a one-to-one with Anthony and see who you know that you can refer to him for business. And Anthony, you are like the ideal person for this group. You are the type of person that you're a military spouse, you're a veteran, and you're an entrepreneur. So thank you for your presentation, and I'll get us close.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So next week we have Chad is going to be Chad does quite a few things, but you're really going to be, it's going to be a treat to see Chad's presentation. And then Rick, who we were just talking to, will be doing the following week. So if you would scan this QR code, if you are not on the calendar to be a spotlight speaker, we want to hear from you. And our inspirational thought for today: it is never too late to be what you might have been. That was said by George Eliot. And I want to thank everybody for being here, and I'm going to stop sharing so we can all see each other and see if there's any announcements or testimonials that anybody would like to share. Just come off.
I have a testimonial for Special K there. That guy does, if you've not been on one of his podcasts, jump on. He is amazing. I've never felt like moving back to the Midwest more than after being on one of his podcasts. So big shout out to Special K.
Awesome. Anybody else?
I want to thank Ruben for the invite. Ruben, thank you. It was so great to meet you on Lineable and to be here with you guys today.
So glad to have you here today, Barry. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for those who have come back. And Tom, is this your first time with us today?
Actually, I think I've been on it before, but everybody here seems to be different than I was on before. But no, I think it's my second time.
Well, it's great to have you. And
Thank you.
To make connections with each and everybody here today. If each of us made a connection with each of us, do you know how many one-to-one meetings that would be, and all the people that each of us know that we can refer to one another? This is what networking is all about. So thank you everybody for being here today. I'll be hanging on for a few more minutes if anybody has anything they want to have questions about. Anybody here want to need help with signing up to be a spotlight speaker?
Did you get that photo, Angela?
No. How'd you send it?
No, I'm talking about the screen. You said you wanted us to raise our hands.
I did. I got it. Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
So what I do is because it's recorded, and which I am going to stop recording. So let me say goodbye.